Oh no. Oh no. We got the air raid sirens. Alright, guys. Let me tune this down. And here we go. Getting a little creative, right? Well, at least I try. Let me go ahead and turn this off for a second. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Let me turn this up. Get a little bit more light in here. All right, you're looking at a chart. Same chart that you looked at from last night. Let me turn my phone off because I'm feeling I'm going to get some notifications. I'm going to try to keep this under 15-20 minutes, but I'm going to actually do some live trading with you, and hopefully we can find a setup. So basically, you're looking at the NQ chart, blank chart, nice and simple to use. I'm hoping that this is all going to work here because when I got all these programs going on my computer, I don't know if you can see, that looks like it's a little slow. So when I'm live trading, I'm going to use a very small account just in the event like something were to happen when my computer was to slow down and I wasn't able to get fills and I wasn't able to get orders. So you're going to see that I'm only probably going to be trading with like one contract. I don't want to take any chances here. I'm still trying to get all the kinks worked out. I thought I got the right computer for this, but possibly I did not, because when this Streamlabs OSB, when I got TradingView up, I got five screens, 4 screens, 2 cameras, as you can tell, and a microphone. So anyway, if you watched the last video, we started with this chart, and then what I did last night was I went over here and I drew all these beautiful lines for you. Now, last night, the blue line is when, I pretty much was doing my video. And I said, okay, well, we're going to draw a trend line, which is what we did right here. And here was a trend line. Okay, we're looking at the 15-minute chart on NQ on TradingView. And the overall trend, as I said, from the 15th of September, which was last Friday, has been down. And, there's a lot of room between here and here. It's like almost 300 points. Okay. So this chart could look a little deceiving. It's 300 points on NQ. That is a lot of points, and there's a lot of money to be made in every single one of these moves. Now, on the 15-minute chart, it doesn't look like there's a ton of moves, but when I go to the 5-minute chart, you're going to see here. So last night, and I apologize, I still got this frog in my throat here. Last night I said, okay, this is our level of support right here. And if we break through that level of support, we are going to go down to this next level of support, which was the white line, right? And then if we broke through that level of support, we were going to go down to the next level of support, which was this green line. And then if we break through this green line right here that we're at right now, this is pretty much, see, there's major and then there's minor levels of support. For example, this green line down here, this is a major level of support. Well, why is it major? Let's back out here. Do you see anything to the left where price was even testing that? We have to go way back. And I'm going way back here. In fact, I'm going to have to go out to the daily chart for this. And then I'm going to have to zoom this down. I'll tell you, if you guys don't have TradingView, you really, really, really need it, because this program is just so phenomenal. Where are we at here? Let's see. Let's zoom in. That looks a little bit better. But the last time price broke below this level was literally back in June. Okay, so this is a major level of support. This is like the last hurrah before shit really hits the fan as far as sell-offs go. And then you're going to notice that we can use like this level as another support. And then after this level, then we can go to this level right here. So you see what's going on here. And each one of these levels is like, for example, that's 14,292. This is 14,803. So what's that? Like 500 points. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that's major. When you go from here, 14,796 down to possibly right here, 14,664. It's 130 points. That's still pretty major. But when I drew this up, we were basically playing in these lines. So last night we basically broke through this level. We are in the process of breaking through this level. So these are more like minor levels of support before another pretty big drop, but they're still relevant, okay? And now this candle close. Where are we at here? Let me move my mic back a little bit. This daily candle, if it closes below this level, our next route is likely here. You'll see the past 3 days have been major sell-off. But let's go into the 5-minute chart. And you're going to see what I mean between playing between lines and levels. Okay, so as I said, I drew this last night. This is where I drew these lines. And we were using this as support. We wicked down, bounced off it, came back up, and then this morning around 4:30 a.m., we broke through it. And how you know whether we're going to basically play around these lines and levels or we're going to go down to the next one is you can see here, there's basically, we broke through 2 5-minute candles, tested it, tried to get above it and close. One closed on it, the other closed below it, not a good sign. And then we played around this level for a little bit, wasn't able to get back above these 2 candles, and then broke down. And then we used this level right here. We used this level as support. You can see that right there. Once again, broke through it, closed candle, next candle, came up, didn't even wick at it, and then came down here. And then this level of support, this would what I'd be call pretty much a minor level of support, simply because this is 8:30. Broke right through, came right back up, and now what we were doing is we were using this area as a resistance. You see how this plays out here? Okay, so we broke back through. Boom. Broke back through. Came up here. Now this is resistance. This is support. Broke through support. Came back up. Like you will normally see this at the open of the market. Right? This is very common. You'll break through these lines and levels because the market is trying to figure out where the hell it wants to go. So you don't want to use these levels as like solid stopping points. All right. You don't want to do that. You want to know that they are areas of interest. Now, you could, on higher time frames, on major levels of support, use those as say like a limit order buy, limit order sell. And what you can expect in most cases is that price will touch that. And if it's an area of support, you'll likely get a quick jump up. You can scalp there. And if it's a level of resistance, you'll likely get a quick sell off and you can scalp there. But what you're looking at here is we were playing between these lines. So you'll notice we came back up here. We couldn't get back above this level of what was now Once at one point in time, it was support. Now it's turned resistance. Came back down, came back up. Now this level right here, this green line, was support. Now once it breaks below, it turns into resistance. Okay. And as we're going, other intraday levels of support and resistance are forming. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, let's just play this out here. We're just going to look back here throughout the course of this day. Now I'm going to take the bodies simply because, I mean, you can call this a zone, but I'm just going to take this body right here of this candle and I'm going to draw another line. So there's a line. And the reason why I'm drawing that and I'm extending this over here is because you can tell that around this line, a lot of these candles, even though they wicked above, that was an area that we're playing around with. Okay. Let me draw that straight for you. And now down here, you can basically see that we are playing around this area. Now, what's going to likely occur is I want to get on the charts here is we're coming in to a level of what is going to be possibly support. We may have already got there. I just want to see something, and pardon me as I look away. I'm looking at another screen here. All right, I'm going to bring my trading platform over to you guys. I'm going to show you some things that I'm doing. Hopefully, we can find a trade within a couple of minutes here. As I said, I want to keep this. I want to keep this relatively short for you guys. All right, so I'm using MNQ now. A little bit different than NQ. The points on this are just a lot cheaper. As I said, I want to. I don't want to lose a lot of money, and hopefully, I'm going to make some money. So what we're looking at here is that this is live. All right. My indicate on my chart is we have indicators up here. You're going to look at the yellow line right here is the 8 EMA exponential moving average, and the yellow or the white line is the 8, and the yellow line is a 21. Down below here, I have the bulls and the bears volume, which is basically telling me, what kind of buying and selling is going on within these candlesticks. Here I have an RSI, relative strength index. Above the red is considered overbought, which means that you're going to have a sell-off. Below the green is considered oversold, which just means that, in many cases, you're going to at least have kind of a retracement. Down here this is a Tiki squeeze indicator. Whenever you see the reds and the yellows, that means that there is bearish sentiment. Whenever you see the blues, that means that there's bullish sentiment. And then you have the Tiki QQE. I mainly just watch this for crosses, particularly down here, down at the bottom now. We're close to this. This and this are kind of similar. It basically takes a smooth moving average and a smooth RSI, and regular RSI and a smooth RSI, different time frames, and then it uses these two lines. And then when you normally have a cross here, particularly in this case, you have the RSI here, then you're likely going to at least try to get a retracement. So I'm zooming in, zooming out. I'm trying to find an area where I can get into a trade here. So just bear with me. This takes some, concentration, looking at different things. So if I'm not talking, the reason why. I'll try to narrate as we go along here, but we're looking at the MNQ, and this is the 1,000 tick chart. This is on Tradovate. This is through Apex, a funded trader platform which I use. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put a stop limit order. Why do I have that at 20? Yeah, 210. Okay. I'm going to do a stop limit order, buy limit right here. And what I'm going to do, put it right there. And the reason why I'm putting it right there is because this was a major area of support. So now one of two things can happen. I'm also going to put a stop sell in the event this does get filled. I don't want to lose money on this trade. So I'm going to put it a little bit below the basically low of the day. And the simple reason for that, why, is because sometimes what will occur is you will get what's known as kind of like a liquidity grab, where price will come down, it will touch this level, my order will get filled, it will go below this level, wick down, and then go right back up. Now I want to, let me hide this screen for a second because I want to go look at something. That is the left monitor, hide. Nope, don't want to do that. Let me actually just move this out of the way. Okay. We're looking back at this. I want to go to trading view and I'm going to look at my, now, as I said, I have a paid subscription for this. This is the Lux Algo buy and sell block orders. Now, what you will notice too is you're seeing this, I drew this trend line today. And as soon as we broke through this trend line, we basically had a retracement. And then we came back down and we tested this trend line. So I said, here is pretty much the bottom. This is the bottom of today. Now, likely what's going to happen is probably another sell off. We have a lot of bearish sentiment, particularly, I mean, this is the 1 minute chart, so you don't want to take this for long-term trends, but this is more so intraday. We're already over 15 minutes, guys. I apologize, but I'm not finding a trade, and I don't just want to get in one haphazardly because I want to show you how to make money here. All right, something I like here. This trend line. I'm going to go with the bounce of this trend line. And let me go ahead and see if I could find this damn thing. I think price wants a new low. So you're looking at this is could be a little bit confusing, but this trend line is, let's see here. We're at 14,933, 14,937, 14,933. Let's see here. I'm gonna hold off on that. All right. What am I looking at? A couple things I'm looking at here. Pay no attention to this screen. You're paying attention to this screen, and let me zoom it back over here so that it looks bigger. A couple things I'm paying attention to. Number one, normally when you get a crossover, okay, so when this line crosses over this line, 8 crossing over the 21, you're going to get bullish sentiment. That means that you're going to have an increase in price. But it could be kind of confusing because the crosses don't happen instantaneously, all right? For example, right here, you were starting to get a cross, and then what happened? We touched the 21 and then came back down. Now, what I want to see is if we're going to, all right, I'm going to enter this trade. I'm going to buy right here. Order filled. Get rid of that block. I'm going to move this block up. going to set it to pretty much low of day. I'm going to zoom in here. I like what I'm seeing with volume. Okay. All right. So folks, we're in the trade. We're live. We're up right now, $50. That could be seen. There we go. That's better. All right, what my hope is here, what's going to happen. Other reason why I entered this trade is because the yellows show that there is declining bearish sentiment. All right. My hope is that we go here and then go into blues, and then this RSI gets above this white dash line, which is 50. You're noticing this volume. You had a lot of buying volume right there. You're having a lot of buying volume right here. Basically, if we can get a candle close above this line right here, if we can get a candle close, then we're probably going to run. And you already see what's happening. All right, guys, I'm up $250. I'm just going to sell. Okay, now I made $250 just like that. Folks, the opportunities in this are endless. You need to learn how to trade. I just showed you live 250. Now, what we have to watch, the reason why I sold there was simple. Do you see this right here? Okay. I sold there because we are in bearish sentiment. Even though we're going to probably have a retracement, and I probably could have made $1,000 or more on this trade, I don't want to keep your time, and I don't want to risk anything. I wanted to show you. But I sold right there simply because I wasn't sure we were going to break above this. Sometimes what happens is exactly what you're seeing right now. All right, so there's your cross. What you want to do, there's your cross. What you want to do in this case is, see how quick this price moves? All right, do you see what would happen if I would have stayed in that trade? I sold right here at for what is that, $230. I said, well, it was $250, but I sold. I mean, that's how quick this stuff moves. But 230 at 42. If I would have held on to right here, it would have been an additional 10 points. Probably would have been an additional $130. Now, when this cross occurs, a lot of things have to be going in your favor in order for you to get a pretty large run. Let me zoom this down. I'm zooming in so I can show you the cross. See the cross? 821. Now, what you want to see for this, in order for this trade to work, if you're going to, let me get rid of that stop loss. If you're going to get a pretty big run out of this, 20, 30, 40 points, what you want to see is exactly what is going on down here. All right. See how you went from yellow? Remember I told you about that, to blue. Okay. So that means that we have bullish sentiment. I don't know how well you can see this. You probably can't see it at all. And I can't zoom in. But another reason why I got into that trade was because there was a squeeze. A squeeze was off. Okay. That's above the pay grade for you guys if you're new. But what you need to know is that price was basically bouncing back and forth in this area, which it was squeezing. Then basically the squeeze fired, and then boom, price was able to jump. So that is the main reason why I got into that trade right then and there. I said, okay, I'm gonna enter. I saw that on here. You probably didn't see that. All right. So let's not focus on that right now. But we're gonna just run this for a 30-minute video, okay? Because there's some people who are having questions and stuff like that. Now, the next thing is, if price breaks above this line, we're going to go up to here. Well, what you want to see is you want to see a lot of buying coming in, which in this case, you do. From the time that I pretty much entered the trade, look at all this buying. Look at all this green down here. Very little red. As compared to when you look left, you see a lot of red. You also see some green scattered in, but we do have a cross, and I'm just going to show you over here. See what happened? We had a cross right here, and then this cross, basically what occurred was price came back down to the 21, which in this case it did as well. So you had the cross. You never want to be buying. Let me zoom this in for you. You never. I'm gonna have to get a new computer, or at least a desktop monitor. This one that I thought was gonna work did not work. It's just too slow. You never want to be buying on this breakout. Like you just don't. You always want to wait for a little bit of a pullback. Now, sometimes it occurs, sometimes it does not occur. Most likely, you're going to at least get one pullback to test this 21 EMA. So, for example, if you did not buy down here like I did, and you actually waited for this cross, okay, this 821 cross, this candle wicked all the way up here. And a lot of people probably would buy up here. But what's happening as soon as you buy up here, you're going back down. Now you don't know if this is a true breakout to the upside or if this is just a false breakout where it's just a retracement. So what you would want to do is you don't want to buy here, you don't want to buy here. You can either buy at this white or yellow line. So you want to put like limit orders is what you want to do. And how you use those limit orders is you look left. You look where candles have been prior. See, these two candles were basically like double tops right here. Okay. So that would be an area where there's going to be buyers present. And then also you just go around that line. You put your limit order right there. The limit order gets filled. Unlike what I just did, I bought, okay? I just basically hit the buy button because I saw what was going on with the squeeze. The limit order gets filled. As soon as the limit order gets filled, price basically just takes off. So you go from, in this example, if you were to put your limit order here, your limit buy order at 14,941, you basically would have went up to 5.3. So you went up 11 points in literally a minute, maybe two. Okay, so that's what I'm saying what a scalp is. You put your limit order here, it gets filled, you get up here. Now, you don't know if this is just going to continue to keep skyrocketing up. So if you have a lot of contracts and you're trying to just make some quick money, well, then you're scalping. The reason why this basically had a little bit, it stopped, let's just call it stopped, was because this was your next area of intraday, very short area of this would have been resistance. Now, these lines get broken all the time, but you can at least know when you're having these breakouts like this. Normally what's happening is exactly what is happening. You're basically getting a crossover. You notice that all these candles are green. Okay, so this is another indicator that I use. And then you basically had what's known as like a double top with the wicks. Your blue lines are coming up here. Notice how it turned to dark blue. That means that there is a chance now. Let's just look for example for this. All of a sudden, you're red. You go to yellow. You go back to red. You go back to yellow. Then you go back to red, back to yellow. So you can't take these lines like this, just one indicator, verbatim. You cannot. You got to learn the game and how it works. But normally what occurs is you'll get a quick, what was this? If you took the bottom here, 27 to 53. So 26, 27 point, or 23 points. Get 23 points, then basically sellers step in and buyers who bought down here sell just like I did, right? Sell some of their stuff. Basically, price goes down. It retests these levels. As long as it holds these levels, now these areas are going to act as support. Okay, and as long as it's holding these, within a wick or two of it, then we're gonna retest we're gonna retest these, and that's maybe what's going to happen. There's a lot of things going against bullish sentiment today, and that's just the trend of the market. You never want to fight the trend. So when I got in this trade, I wasn't expecting, honestly, I wasn't expecting to make a lot of money on this trade. Now, I could have made a lot of money if I bought a lot of contracts, but I didn't. All right. I didn't buy a lot of contracts because I wasn't expecting a huge, basically, bounce. And you're seeing what's happening. See how this is probably what's going to be a fake out. And why would this be a fake out? Because what occurred before is we had a major sell off again today. Price got up to this level, and then we had our cross right here, and the price has been going down. And here's the low of the day. This red line is pretty much the low of the day. It's most likely that price wants to at least test that again, and if not test it, break it. And if it does break it, and you get a couple candle closes below it, sometimes if it breaks it with a strong candle, you'll wick down 20, 30, 40 points in one candle. Okay, so this is how this stuff works. I just wanted to do a live example. I wanted to show you about how the lines last night that I made were relevant today, and then take that into real life trading to show you how this works. So I want you to just stay with me for about another 2-3 minutes because I want to show you something. All right, see how we had this 821 crossover, and there's other EMAs. You can use the 5, you can use the 8, you can use the 13, you can use Fibonacci numbers. There's a whole bunch of different people use all different lines, indicators, moving averages. I normally like, if you're in a trend, like a downtrend, I normally like an 821 crossover, okay? Because it, particularly when you're following the trend, for example, here, if you took this crossover right here and said you don't want to take it right here, you want to wait till it comes back up into this. And in this case, you basically would have probably set your limit order right around the 21, and you would have had to be in some drawdown. You would have had to be in about, what's that? Probably about like 8 or 9 points of drawdown. So you would have been in the red. You would have been losing money on this trade at first. But then what would have occurred was, in this case, you would have had a 85 to 24. So that would have been a 60-point run. So you saw how much money I just made off of 10 mini contracts on a 14,931 to 42. So on 9 points. So can you imagine 60 points? That would have been like $1,400. Now, you would have been in the trade a lot longer, right? You would have been in this trade a lot longer. But the reason why this trade is a much better trade than this trade is simply because of the trend. Like, I'm going to back this out, and you're going to see the trend. What has the trend been pretty much all day? I mean, you want to draw your trend line? Let's back this out again so you can see the trend. So these are one 1,000 ticks. So you're getting a lot of bars printed here. But from last night, this is when the futures opened last night. So 6 o'clock. Let's just draw it so you can see it. And I have my chart trader on, which you never want to do when you're drawing lines. But let's just say right here, it's right there. Now you could have drew your line here, and this is what I was talking about last night when you have trend breaks. Okay, so you could drew your line right there, and what happened as soon as it broke that line, you had an uptrend. You could draw multiple lines. You can draw a line for every freaking uptrend and downtrend. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's just go basically, let's go to here. Let's take this from there. All right, there's your first trend break right there. Downtrend, trend break. You get in the trade right here. If I zoom in, that's probably an 821 crossover. Well, I know it is. All right, so there's your trend line. There's the break. There's the 821 crossover. There's your first move of the day that you could have, if you weren't in a short position, sell position, there was your first long position right there. Okay, you get up here, you sell. Now we're going to draw another trend line. Draw a trend line from here. No, chart trader, get off of there. Let me just go up here. Another trend line. Come on. Sorry guys, this is my first time doing like live trading. It's a lot slower than what I thought it was going to be. All right, so there's your trend line. There's another 821 crossover. There's your second. So this is what I'm saying. You can make money in downtrends and uptrends. Now, how do you do a trend line for a downtrend? Well, that's simple. You go like this. On the uptrend, you take from the bottom of the candles, and you basically take it along the wicks. And there's your downtrend. See how this stuff is working, guys? I'm going to say it's not rocket science. Oh, and look at what happened. As we were chatting, like I had said, price wanted to go down and test low of day. Now remember, I originally had a limit order here, and that would have got filled, but you would have had to wait 38 minutes to watch it get filled. Okay, but this trade would have been valid so far too, because what's occurring now? I had a limit order set right here at the bottom of this for 10 contracts. It would have got filled. Would have got filled at 14,921. And look at this move that we're getting in a downtrend. See this? In a downtrend. But this is likely just going to be a retracement. What's probably going to happen is you're going to go up to the 21, and we're going to come right back down, and we're going to probably test and break low a day. But that's the reason why I set that there to begin with, okay? Because I knew that something like this was going to happen. And there's a reason why I had a stop loss as well. Because if this did not occur and price decided that it wanted to go directly down there, well, then I wasn't going to lose a ton of money, okay? On this trade, this would have been, so if I got into this trade at this scenario, I saw that buying volume, that green buying volume right there. I knew that we were at least going to test the 8, and we were probably going to test the 21 EMA. But that would have been a 21 to 34. So that would have been a 13-point move. Quick. This stuff moves quick. This is why I scalp. Said you can make money like that. Boom, 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 boom. And you're in and out of trades really quick. So anyway, guys, that's a lesson on the day. Thanks for viewing. Steve with The Breakout Project. I'll have the links for you. Just remember, we all have the same 24. Use wisely. Peace out.